Welcome everyone to the new Zelda Dungeon video mailbag. We're soliciting questions for topics that you want us to discuss, and right now we're getting a lot for the upcoming sequel for Breath of the Wild, but definitely leave more comments of other stuff you want us to talk about, including this game, because the hype is building. We have a comment from P-Dog, who asks us what traditional items from games before Breath of the Wild should return.
My first thought is kind of already in the game, but
Okay.
it's boomerangs. And it's because I hate the way boomerangs are used in Breath of the Wild, because you have to catch them, and I'm so bad at catching it. I think it'd be fun to have an actual item that is just a real boomerang, just like every other Zelda, that automatically comes back to you. I mean, it's like an iconic Zelda item, you know?
It could open up some potential stuff, like bringing stuff back to you or stuff like that. Could have cool mechanics.
Puzzles stuff. I like lock-on boomerangs. Those are cool.
Yeah. I really like the
Those are
idea
okay.
of like the Twilight. I think Twilight Princess did a pretty good job with the boomerang. Like the puzzles are pretty interesting. So something like that where you have to like do things in order, or like Wind Waker. I like that style of boomerang. I think that'd be a lot of fun to have in Breath of the Wild sequel.
Yeah. I thought in Wind Waker it was like novel, like cool new addition, but like Twilight Princess, I was like, it didn't really work for me. It felt too like rigid or something. I don't know. I think it's been a struggle for 3D games to adapt it as
3D
well.
boomerang, yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
Mine that I always think of is the grappling hook, because what's fun about Breath of the Wild is the navigation and, also like connecting like sort of mechanics, like you light something on fire, it creates a gust, you can paraglide, you can then shoot with your bow, and, combine all sorts of things. And that element is there in Wind Waker with like, I always think of like grappling to something and then coming out of it and using the Deku Leaf, and it has some fun combined usage. And I could see that being, people really want a hook shot, but I think that's very much to me like always been like point and click. There's not a lot of like skill necessarily involved with it, except for like hitting a moving target. Whereas like I think the grappling hook could have a lot of usage of like climbing or like swinging on stuff. Imagine like hooking it to something and swinging, or even like in like Phantom Hourglass, like maybe you could make like a little slingshot for yourself.
I think
I
that'd
just
be
see
cool.
it or to
That's
slingshot like boulders or something like that.
Oh yeah. That's a perfect answer, because I think a lot of people also are like, oh, bring the hook shots or the double claw shots into Breath of the Wild. That kind of takes away the whole climbing mechanic. But if you incorporate that with a grappling hook, like that's perfect, because you can use that to rappel, you could use it to climb up sheer faces that maybe you wouldn't be able to climb, you could use it to swing from place to place. That's awesome.
How cool would
I
it
could see
be
it.
if you could like hook it to a tree branch and like swing around the tree as like a moblin's coming, and you gotta like slice it while you're swinging around? How cool would that be? I could totally see something like that happening.
Make it like a thing to trip them.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
You know what, too? You can steal Breath of the Wild. A big thing with that, you can take your enemy's weapons, and in Wind Waker, you can use the grappling hook to steal goodies from them. You could use that to steal weapons from them,
That would be really cool.
Oh yeah,
I
that'd be
would
cool.
love
Like
that.
if you're like stealthing. Yeah, there's like a lot of possibilities. Obviously, like it would be a lot to implement different. Like they would probably keep it pretty simple, but there are a lot of like things that immediately come to mind with that.
My answer is going to be the Pegasus boots. Because I just love the Pegasus boots in general. I
Yeah.
love just going all out full sprint, and it's never been utilized in a 3D game like that. It's usually in a 2D game, and you can use it, and especially in tandem with some sort of jump mechanic, like Rock's Feather or Rock's Cape or something. You can just line up, launch, and then just fly away. And I think doing something like that in a 3D space, where you actually can have a jumping mechanic like in Breath of the Wild. Imagine if you could just equip the boots, and they would have to do some reworking of like how much you can turn in the 3D environment and stuff like that. But imagine just like lining up, sprinting towards the edge of a cliff and jumping way off. Like that would be
That would be
so
so
much
cool.
fun.
I would love that.
Break out the glider, like speed glider.
I could even see Link, like his sword out in front of him as he's running. Like, how fun would that be?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
His little legs are spinning doing the Sonic the Hedgehog.
Some good ideas here.
Good
How about
question.
this one from Golden Oracle 64,
Ooh.
who
It's a good number.
it basically asks us, it is a great number. They want to know, should we see the return of companions? I think no. I kind of liked how the game worked. I would say I would like to see a return of more, like, have more characters like Cass, who are... he sort of reminds me of like the owl or something, where you kind of encounter him at different points in the game, and he sort of gives you quests, but you could have characters like that who sort of like could sort of enhance like some sort of narrative, or like even give you some guidance or something. But I do like just sort of having the freedom, to do whatever and not really being told as much what to do.
I did not miss a companion in Breath of the Wild. That's for sure. There were so many interesting characters that I got to find on my own, and I think all the champions have such deep stories that a companion wasn't really necessary. It almost feels like the Sheikah Slate was sort of your companion as it like upgraded,
Right?
And you still had Zelda.
All I need is my
I just
dang
need my
phone.
I just need my cell phone.
All I need is my phone. That's it.
I don't know. Like, I didn't miss a companion. I like the story of companions in Zelda games. I love Midna. I love Navi. I love Tattle. Like, I love companion characters. I love Fi. Don't want to talk about that. But I didn't miss a companion personally. I'm fine without one.
Yeah, I'm with you too. I don't think we need a traditional companion of the sort of Navi or Fi or Midna in Breath of the Wild 2. If there is a companion, I would want it to be a companion like the Mysterious Owl, where they just pop. They're not with you over your shoulder the whole time. Maybe they just pop up at set points to give you like little, hey, maybe you could go over here, or hey, just stopping in to say hi, see how you're doing. Or something that Breath of the Wild did do that not a lot of people experienced is if you had the Wolf Link amiibo and you scanned it in, Wolf Link would sort of act as kind of like a combat companion for you and would walk around the overworld with you, sort of in tandem with you, and kind of help fight enemies with you. I think a really cool idea is if there are more companions kind of like that, where maybe they're with you but they play a more active role in combat or in puzzle solving, and they're only with you for like a temporary time. They're not with you for the whole game or something.
Yeah. If you're familiar with Elden Ring at all, which I've been watching a lot of friends play Elden Ring,
yeah.
you have summons in that game that like, and one of them is actually a pack of wolves. But like there are different summons that will help you in combat. And I think stuff like that would be super cool because they're basically companions. But the whole idea of Breath of the Wild was that it's open world. We don't need a companion telling us here's the next step.
That game also has like a character who will like come talk to you at like the sites of grace, and it has characters like Cass that you actually can see them in one part of the world, do something for them, and then they're over here, and like that's not really a companion, but it is like little stories, I guess.
Yeah, I do think it would be cool if it was kind of tied in that way, not like someone that you can say, hey, come here now because I want you. More of a thing where like it feels like someone in the world where maybe your paths are just intersecting and you have a common goal at a certain point in the story if you so choose to do that part of it. Maybe it's like a side quest type thing where if you want to do that, it's like, yeah, I'll join you and we can go raid this camp or whatever.
That reminds me of Quarrel in Hollow Knight. If you're familiar with Hollow Knight, Quarrel is a very cool character, and he is he's exactly that.
Yeah, he shows up
at
certain key moments.
Yeah,
characters.
Yeah, helps you fight a boss. Yeah, that's cool.
that's cool too. Like making these little mechanics, because he's essentially like unlocking your map, but they made it into like a character with a backstory, and he's got a shop you can go to. That's really cool implementation. A thing you made me think of, tying into like what Corey said, and also maybe an item to bring back would be the horse call, and just having a more like it is fun to like catch the horses and stuff. So maybe it doesn't have to be like one horse, but maybe just having a more permanent horse you can call upon and not have to go to like a stable. They eventually added that item in DLC where you put the armor on and call it anywhere. But I think that should just be like the base game. I don't think that adds to like the realism in a way that I like.
You know what I thought you were gonna say was the animal companion flute.
Oh boy! Well,
you can call it. Bring back Ricky and Moosh and Dimitri. Just have them join us through certain parts.
If we have a giant flying bear, I'm gonna be so happy.
Exploring in a forest, and then you see Moosh flying there.
I will be deceased if Moosh is the sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Wow. Marvin G. Moreno asks, would there be any old bosses from previous Zelda games which might be included?
It's got to be Aquamentus and Gleeok.
Yeah,
we got to bring back some classic bosses.
I would love
specifically Gleeok. Those two. Who would not want to see a 3D realized Gleeok or Aquamentus? That would be so cool.
Yeah, that was such a cool thing that like it's like they brought Lionels in and stuff like that.
Yeah. That was a surprise too. I don't think anyone saw that coming.
Yeah, and it was cool to see like the Hynixes were also one. Yeah, so I that would be my main focus. Like I feel like there's a lot of other memorable ones that might be kind of weird though. They could do a different twist on it. It wouldn't be the exact guy, but it would be weird if like Bongo showed up. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we've seen like Bongo like enemies show up. So in a different form,
They should bring back Thunderbird. That would be sick.
Thunderbird would be awesome.
Oh,
that'd be sweet.
I also really like hand-to-hand combat sort of fights. So I think it would be fun to have like Dark Link come back or Shadow Link.
I think
or
we need Dark Nuts.
I was just gonna say maybe my Elden Ring playing is starting to seep in, but there's a thing that happens a lot in that game is like mounted combat, and it makes me think of that boss in Adventure of Link where you first knock them off the horse and then you got to fight them on foot. They become more of a high-powered regular enemy. Yeah. It's like Rebanak. Oh, that's so cool. Rebanak, right? Though in that you can like attack them or the horse. It's really cool. So just more enemies like that. Dark Nuts would be sweet, especially because the combat mechanics in Breath of the Wild are actually pretty fun.
Oh, I think it love the combat in Breath of the Wild. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think doing more of I think of those tests of strength trials where they get kind of old after a while, but it is fun to like dodge the moves and get that perfect dodge in. I think adding more enemies like that would be really cool.
Two things that came to mind for me. One, Guardians, but not Breath of the Wild Guardians. The Guardians from the Spirit Realms from Skyward Sword. Those things are terrifying.
That's cool.
And I would love to see them used again somehow.
What if I have a pitch for this? What if it's like Death Stranding, where in that game you go into certain areas and there's like the BTs, like there's that area is just like got that high level of BTs and you got to sneak around and it's really scary. Obviously they would be a lot different from that, but I just imagine roaming in the overworld and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's like something has happened with the spirit dimension in this area, and like it gets really freaky, and like that whole like vibe, the whole filter.
There's been a mass outbreak of Spirit Realm.
Yeah. Spirit Realm mass outbreak.
Your like spirit meter starts going crazy.
Oh my gosh. My other thought was a villain, not so much a boss, but you do fight him as a boss, is Vati. I would love to see a 3D Vati. I think everyone wants it. I doubt it'll ever happen, but I would love it so much. I want to see. And we got what was his name from Age of Calamity? The dude.
No, not
Aster.
Suga. Aster.
He's like almost Vati.
Sort of like
He's like Vati
he's like
adjacent.
a busted
It's like a
Vati.
Yuga to me.
Yeah, he's well, I mean, he basically is Yuga, to be honest.
He's worse than that.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yuga's
he's cool, but I would love to see like straight up Vati.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I think at least like some sort of like cool like mage fighter guy would be cool.
Something
And-
like that.
If we're talking about bosses, I want the pigs from Wind Waker back. Because I mean, we got the cuckoos in Breath of the Wild. I want the pigs. Give us the pigs.
The little
I think
piggies?
The
in
little
general-
piggies.
Farting piggies? The tuning piggies?
I just I
At
want
first
to
was
hold
like,
them up.
Are you
and
talking
let them
about
fart.
moblins? I was
No.
like, what?
The pigs. Have you attacked
The ones
those
that you
things?
throw off the cliff.
Everyone yeets a pig
No.
off of a cliff on Windfall. Everyone's done it.
Do it.
I think in
Someone does it.
general we
Everyone
need more wildlife, more different types of flora and fauna.
I think
Always
Breath
great.
of the Wild did a great
There was a
job.
lot of wildlife in Breath of the Wild.
There could
That's
be
true.
more.
That's true. There could be more.
They did a great job. There could be more.
Well, great. That was fun. Those are some nice questions. And
Thank you.
It was a
It was
chill
fun.
time.
Yeah.
There's other ones we didn't even get to, but definitely leave more. I think there's gonna
Keep
be a
asking.
lot of hype going up to this game. So
It's supposed
you
to
know,
come out
there's
this year, so
Yeah, and comment if you think of a good like name for this series.
yeah, we haven't decided on a name for the series yet.
We're just hanging out right now. So
Just a couple of dudes being guys.
Just hanging out, answering questions.
all right, we
It's
gotta
the name of the
like,
show.
you gotta comment, you gotta subscribe,
Those are the three.
and most of all, thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys. Hey.
Freedom! I'm
Sup?
free!